So let's start with the offers. Under the section 2A, the offer is when a person signifies to the another his willingness to do or to abstain from doing something in view of gaining the consent of the another person. So that is the proposal. So when one person offers something to the another person in some consideration, against some consideration, so that becomes a proposal. We will take an example. A offers to sell his motorcycle to B for rupees 3,000. B agrees to pay A rupees 3,000 for a motorcycle. Here A is called the offerer or the promiser and B is called the offeree or the promisee. Next, the three essential elements in an offer. It will be made to some another person, because an offer cannot be made to a person himself or herself. Second condition, with an object of gaining the consent of the another person to such act. So a proposal will be a valid proposal or offer will be a valid offer only and only when a person is going to give the consent, either yes or no. And next, it is the expression of the willingness to do or not to do something. It something is to be done or something not is to be done, so that would be in the term of the elements of an offer. Next are the kinds of the offer. So first category is how it is made and second category is to whom it is made. So how made means the express offer or the implied offer, and to whom it is made, it is a general offer or the specific offer. So express offer. An express offer is the one which is made in the words spoken or written or in a letter or an email. So either it is communicated or it is in a written form, it will be known as the express offer. Next are the implied offer. An implied offer is one which may be gathered from the conduct of the parties or the circumstances of the cases. So something when it is happening, some cases are happening, some conditions are over there, some circumstances are over there. Under those circumstances, it is known as the implied offer. Next are the general offer. An offer made to a definite person in is called a general offer to some specific one. General offer would be the one which is made to the whole world. So that would be, it is vice versa written over there wrong in a wrong form. General offer is the one which is made to all the people in general, to the whole world. And specific offer is when it is made to some specific community, to some specific person, to some specific state or street. It will be a specific offer. Specifically, it is made to someone. An offer must be distinguished from a mere statement of intention. No, it is not a mere statement of intention. It is something which is given in an offer. An initiative to offer. No, it is not an invitation to an offer. It's not an invitation. It is an offer which is given to. No, I am not going to give the invitation, but it will be an offer in itself. A mere communication of the information in the course of negotiation. So some negotiation are going to happen. Find some, negotiation between the two parties are going to happen. Some settlement is going to happen between the two parties. So it is again not an offer. A casual inquiry. It is not an inquiry, but it will be an offer itself. A prospectus inviting the public to, a prostitute inviting the public to subscribe to the shares or the debentures of the company. No, that is just, it's not an offer again. It is just an invitation to, it's being inviting the public for the subscription of the shares. An advertisement of the tender. Again, advertisement of the tender is just an advertisement, but it is not an offer. It is not going to happen between the two parties. Next are the essentials of a valid offer. So first essential element is offer must be capable of creating a legal relationship. The offerer must intend the creation of the legal relationship. That is, he must intend that if his offer accept a legally binding agreement shall result in the offer. So that would be an valid offer when there is a legal agreement between the two parties. So legally when it is going to happen, it will be into a legal relationship. Balfour versus Balfour was the one of the leading case. Second, offer must be a certain, definite and not vague. No contract can come into existence if the terms of the offer are vague or lost and indefinite. So when there is nothing, there must not be any information which is vague, which will be an fake information, which will be an information which does not exist. So no such information should be there. If such kind of information is there, then the offer is known as a vague offer, or offer is known as the void offer. An offer must be communicated to the offeree. There can be no offer by a person to himself. It must always be communicated to the offeree. So whatever information is there, whatever proposal is there, whatever offer is there, that must be communicated to the another party, that is known as the offeree. For example, B sends his servant P to trace his nephew. D announces a reward of providing the information about the missing boy. P is ignorant of the announcement, traced the boy and informed D. Now P later on come to know about the reward and he claims it. His claim is dismissed on the ground that he was ignorant of the offer. It was further held that it was the duty of the servant to search a boy. Now I will explain you. There D is a person and P is his servant. Now D's nephew is lost. Now D announces a reward that if someone will bring that missing boy, I'm going to reward that person. Now P was not knowing that such kind of reward was being announced. Now P goes and he find out that boy and he just informed D that the boy is there. But he was ignorant of the about the offer. So it was further held that it was D said that it was the duty of the servant to search a boy. So he was not given any reward for the same. Next, the offer must be made with a view to obtain the assent of the other party. So when the other party is going to give his consent, then only it will be considered to be an offer. An offer must be distinguished from a mere expression of the intention. Now, N advertised in a newspaper to effect the sale of his goods on a particular day on the particular place. H travels a long distance to bid that thing. On arrival, he found that the sale was cancelled. Now he sued N for the breach of the contract. It was held that the advertisement was merely an expression of an intention and an offer which could be accepted by traveling to the place of an intended sale. So that is, he has just given an advertisement over there. It was not an offer which was being given to someone. So one can not sue for the same thing. So it was an advertisement in the paper. It was not an offer which was given to someone else. Now offer may be conditional. An offer can be made subject to the condition. In that case, it can be accepted only subject to that condition. A condition offer lapses when the condition is not accepted. A contract formed on a conditional offer is valid. So whenever any condition is being laid, the condition is not clear or the condition is being laid over there, and if the conditions are not being clear, then it won't be considered as an offer. So the conditional offer lapses when the conditions are not accepted. An offer will be without conditions, and if the conditions are given and the conditions are not accepted, then it won't remain as a valid offer. Next. Offer should not contain a term that non-compliance of which would amount to accept. One cannot say while making an offer that if the offer is not accepted before a certain date, it would presume to have been accepted. So it would have been accepted by the another person. So that is, the offer could not be certain or in compliance to which would amount to the acceptance. Lapse of an offer, when the offer is lapsed, when the offer is cancelled. If either the offerer or the offeree dies before the before giving the acceptance, one of the another person dies. If it is not accepted within the specified time or a reasonable time, if no time is specified. So one specific time should be given over there, that in this time the offer must be completed. If it is not given, then it won't be an offer. With the passing of the time, within the specific time, if it is not done, then it won't be an offer. If the offeree does not make a valid acceptance. So a person don't give the acceptance. He remains silent. He don't give anything in writing or in verbal form. An offer can also lapse by revocation. A person who makes an offer can withdraw it anytime before acceptance. So before gaining the acceptance, if the person takes his offer back, then it will be known as the lapse of revocation. The offer will be automatically expressed if it has not been accepted till then. Where no time limit has been specified, the offer will be lapse after the reasonable time. Suppose I give the offer to the another person and I give the time limit of 1 week. So in that specific time duration of 1 week, if the person is not going to give the reply, if the person is not going to accept that offer, then it will be lapse of revocation. Next, an invitation to offer is not an offer. When we are going some invitation, when we are going to give some invitation, so it won't be considered to be an offer. We should give a proper offer for the same. An offer must be distinguished from the invitation to offer. In case of an invitation to offer, the aim is merely to circulate the information of readiness at the negotiate business with anybody who on such information comes to the person sending it. Such invitations are not offered in the eye of the law and do not become a promise and acceptance. So whenever we are going to give some invitations, suppose I brought in chocolate, would you like to eat? So that is an invitation. That is an invitation. What will be the offer? Here's the chocolate. Would you like to eat it? So I'm offering the chocolate to the another person. Now another person may say yes or no. But in the another case, I have given an invitation. Shall I bring the chocolate? Will you eat it? So that is an invitation. Shall I bring the? So that would be again an offer. That is an invitation to offer, not an offer. Last is standing or open offer. An offer for the continuous supply of certain articles at a certain rate over a definite period is called a standing offer. So which is going to be continuously supply of certain articles at certain rate, which is going to happen again and again. So such an offer would remain as the standing offer or the open offer. Such offer through accepted do not give rise to the contract unless an actual order is placed. The offer can withdraw his offer. The offerer can withdraw his offer at any time before an order is placed with him. So whenever the offer is placed to someone, suppose we give an order to a bakery. So that order, until that bakery people give you back, that will remain as a standing order. That is an open order. Next is the counter offer. And counter offer is a rejection of the original offer and making a new offer. This new offer is a counter offer. So that new offer is known as the counter offer. A person who makes a counter offer and subsequently changes his mind and wishes to accept the original offer cannot do as the first offer lapses, and he cannot treat it as a still open offer. So the counter offer is a rejection of the original offer and making a new offer. So first offer which I have given it, I am going to reject that offer and I am going to place a new offer in against to that last offer. So I'm going to reject the original offer and I'm going to make a new offer for it. So that new offer is known as the counter offer. Next is the communication of the special conditions. When a special terms and the conditions are to be included in a contract, they must not be specifically stated, but also communicated to the concerned parties. It is the duty of the person who deliver a document to give the adequate notice to the offeree in terms of the conditions, in terms and conditions containing in the document. When this is not done, the acceptor will not be bounded to such conditions. So specifically terms and conditions must be included in the contract. It cannot be specifically communicated to the concerned party. So in terms of the special conditions, the person would have given the information to it in an adequate notice, which would be in the form of the terms and the conditions which are given over there. So that will be a document in which the terms and conditions are written. Next are the printed contract. Many big organizations like LIC, Railway, Indian Railway, etc. enter into the thousands of the contracts every day. it would be difficult for such organization to draw out a separate contract for every individual. They have therefore printed contract, so that printed contract remain the standard form of the contract for everyone, for thousands of people. So that is a printed contract. Next is the cross offer. When two parties make identical offer to each other in ignorance of the each other offer, such offer is known as the cross offer. So when the two parties are going to make the identical offers to each other, they are going to make the similar offers to each other, so that becomes a cross offer. A similar offer is there between both of them. They shall not constitute the acceptance of the one offer by the another. So there is no acceptance for the same because they have been a cross offer. So next is the acceptance part. When a person to whom the proposal is made signifies his acceptance, he or she is going to give the acceptance. It is an acceptance of the proposal. An acceptance proposal is called the promise or an agreement. So when I have given an acceptance for some offer or proposal, it becomes an agreement. An application of the share in a company is in the nature of the offer, while the allotment of the shares by the company is an acceptance resulting into the contract. So when someone offers something to the another person and another person accept that thing, it becomes an agreement. When that agreement is given in the writing and it is being registered legally, lawfully it is done, it results into the contract part. The acceptor should do something to signify his intention to accept. For example, A offers to sell his horse to B for $50. B accepts the offer to purchase the horse for $50. This is an acceptance. Now there are two types of acceptance, expressed and implied. Expressed is acceptance by word, acceptance by conduct. Implied is spoken or written. That is the treatment of the doctor. So doctor is going to give you an implied acceptance. So that would be either into the spoken or written. Expressed is when it is accepted by the words. Essentials of a valid acceptance. Acceptance must be absolute and unconditional. So it must be very much specific and no condition should be there. And acceptance must be unconditional and unqualified. Accepting an offer while with conditions, variations, and reservations amount to the counter offer and reject the original offer. So that would be into the counterpart when some conditions are being laid over there. M offered to sell land to N for $280. And replies accepting the offer and enclosing $30 and promising to pay the balance amount by the monthly installment of $50. Since N accepts the offer subject to making the payments in installment, it was held that the acceptance with the conditional and qualified. So the condition was kept that I will pay it in installment. So that was the condition. So M has accepted all those things and that would become an acceptance, which is absolute. It is being specified. The conditions are being specified over there. Acceptance must be communicated to the offerer. If an offerer remains silent and do nothing to show the acceptance, the offer accept the offer, no contract is formed. The acceptor should do something to signify his attention to accept. The acceptance must be communicated to the offerer itself. So whenever someone is going to give the consent, so that the consent, then the person has to show the consent. The person has to specify that yes, I have considered it. So then only it will be known as an communication to the offer. Acceptance must be made in a reasonable time. So that acceptance must be made if it is given that I make an offer to the another one, and the acceptance has to be given in the 1 week time. So if the acceptance is given within 1 week time, then it will be in a valid time, in a reasonable time. But if the person is going to give the acceptance after 1 week, then it won't be considered. Then it will be an acceptance which is made after the reasonable time, which will not be considered. A person applied for the shares in a company in June. He cannot be bounded by an allotment made late in the November. So that is not an acceptance because it is made late. Next, according to the mode prescribed or usual or reasonable mode, whatever mode is being prescribed. So if some person says that, okay, I make this and this offer to you and you give an acceptance in the writing, in writing, and you send me a letter for the same. So whatever mode is accepted by a person, then the same acceptance must be given in the same mode. If it is asked in writing, then it should be in writing. If it is oral, then it should be an oral. If it is an email, then it should be an email. If it is a printed form, then it should have been given in the printed form. So whatever mode is being prescribed, in that mode, the person has to give this acceptance. Acceptor must be aware of the proposal at the time of the offer. So acceptance follows the offer. If the acceptor is not aware of the existence of the offer and convey his acceptance, no contract come in to the beginning. There must be a knowledge of the offer before anyone could concern it. So that is an offer must be very much clear. And the offer which is being given to the another person, he should be made aware of the time and when the offer is going to happen between them. A sold his business to his manager B without disclosing the fact to his customers. C, a customer who had running account with A, sent an order of the supply of the goods to A by a name. B received the order and executed the same. C refuses to pay the price. It was held that there was no contract between B and C. Why there was no contract between B and C? Because B was the person who was being assigned by A to manage his business. Because C never made an offer to B. C ने offer किया था A को. So C has made an offer to A, not to B. So it was not being liable to pay the prices to B. In this case, A would have announced that I am going to make B to manage my all businesses. Acceptance must be given before the offer is revoked. Before the offer is revoked means before the offer is lapsed, before the offer is over, before that the acceptance must be given. It means that the acceptance must be made while the offer is in force. That is before the offer has been revoked or offer has been lapsed. Acceptance cannot be implied from silence. So silence is no acceptance. No contract is formed if the offeree remains silent and does nothing to show his acceptance to the offer. Pankaj told Radhika, I offer you my car for rupees 50,000. If you don't reply in 10 days time, I shall assume that you accepted the offer. Radhika kept silent, held there is no contract. Next is the communication of the offer under section 4. An offer must be communicated. It must be informed. Must be in the word of mouth. It should be either written or it should be an oral one, and it should have been communicated properly. An offer may be communicated to the offered or the offers by the word of mouth, by written or conduct. A written offer may be conducted in the letter or the telegram. When communication of the offer is complete, a communication of the proposal is complete when it comes to the knowledge of the person to whom it is being made. So to whom it is being made, what is being given in the offer, and what will be the time of the completion. That if it is all clearly defined and informed to the another person, that becomes the communication of offer. Means we are going to give the full detail related to an offer to the another person. Communication of acceptance, that is under section 4. Communication of the acceptance is complete as against the proposer when it is put a course of transmission to him so as to be out of the power of the acceptor, and as against the acceptor when it comes to the knowledge of the proposer. So the proposer, so the acceptance should be informed to the another person that yes, I have accepted that proposal. So that acceptance should also be communicated. It should also be defined to the another person. Examples of the communication of the offer and the acceptance. Example of offer. Amir proposed by letter to sell a house to Babul at rupees 10 lakh. The communication of the proposal is complete when the Babul receives the letter. So I have posted a letter to B. Now that communication of offer will only and only be completed when B will receive the letter which I have sent him. Example of acceptance. A proposed by a letter to sell a house to B at a certain price. B accepted A's proposal by the letter by post. The communication of the acceptance is complete as against A when the letter is posted, as against B when the letter is received by A. So A has sent the letter to B. When B received it, it was complete. It was the communication of offer. Now when B replies to A and A have received the letter, then it will be example of an acceptance. Next is the communication of revocation. Against the person who make it when it is put into the force of transmission to the person to whom it is made, so as to out of the power of the person to whom makes it against the person to whom it is made when it comes to his knowledge. So when a person is not aware that when the person is not aware about the offer which is being made and acceptance which is going to happen, so when a person is unaware of each and everything, then it becomes a communication of revokeness. So this revocation is under the section 5. Now, notice of revocation, lapse of time. So time is over. Non-fulfillment of the condition prescribed. So the conditions are non-fulfilled. Death or insanity. So a person is not there. The person do not exist. A counter offer is being made. So counter offer is over there. And subsequently illegalities. So when there is an illegality between there, the things are not in a legal term. So when these conditions happen, then the revocation of the offer is happening. So that's all for today. Thank you for listening patiently.